All right, man. Let's just go ahead and get right to it because a lot has changed since the last time we were on the show together.
Yeah, interesting.
A lot has changed. We left at Euphoria between the Kendrick and Drake saga, which everybody has been watching like it's a TV series at this point. A lot of foolishness on my timeline, but I've learned to not let it raise my blood pressure. But there have been more entries since then. So
a couple, 2, 3.
I'm telling you, man, I didn't even realize it, bro. Like, I woke up and it was okay. There's another one, and then there's another one.
Run it back. So
this is a loaded topic, but I think there are a few ways to approach it.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Of course. I mean,
let's just go ahead and do like instead of being surgical with it. Like, who do you guys think won?
Kendrick.
I mean, this is
I think this is going to be an ongoing thing. But who do you think has come out looking like more dominant from this weekend's shenanigans, with some people would consider them to be?
Yeah, to me it's Kendrick, and it's always been Kendrick. And I think when you put all of Kendrick's disses together, it's arguably the greatest collective diss of all time. I know there's great disses up there. Don't get it twisted. But
cumulative though.
But cumulative, like the 19 minutes of everything that we've heard, it's up there.
It's definitely up there.
So, to me, it's not even close. Just from all the entendres and the multiple angles, and the fact that Kendrick was speaking directly to Drake. To me, the difference in the two is like Drake was talking to everybody, and Kendrick was talking to Drake. Generally speaking, except for maybe the last one that Drake dropped, maybe a little bit, but. But in general, that's kind of what I think. To me, it's not really even close. But
I was in the camp of not even close until this last one came out, and then Family Matters. When I heard Family Matters, I was like, okay, now he's starting to get a little bit closer to where he's supposed to be. When I heard Meet the Grams,
equalized it. At
that point, Meet the Grams is the cutoff point for me. I don't care what come out after that. That's one of the coldest diss records I've ever heard in my life. In terms of dissecting a whole person's everything, like your family, your being. And there's a narrative where, why is he talking about his family? Drake jumped out the window talking about his family first.
He literally was talking about his wife, baby mom, or whatever you want to call her, from the get-go.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm seeing so many people that are rap battle morally conscious all of a sudden. Like, where does this come from? Like, that's never been the case. Like, How is that corny because he's talking about his family when he's already talked about his?
But see, the thing about it is he really didn't talk about his family. He talked about Drake to his family,
which is
it's almost brilliant. Like I'm sitting every member of your family down.
Let me tell you about,
and I'm telling you about your son and why he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And why I don't think he deserves to live. And to his son, you can run this back when you're 18 and actually figure it out and probably agree with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
To me, that was crazy, man.
Family Matters is what made me sit up and say, yeah, because I love seeing the van getting towed off. I thought that was fire. Because the van from the album, that's brilliant. And he was spitting in there. And then it's, like I said, this last one. But either way, though, for me, it's still Kendrick, man. His records are better to me. When we just put them up side by side, line everything up.
From a diss perspective, I think
they're just better.
I think Family Matters is like a bop.
It is.
It's like and then he was like singing on a diss record, and it's kind of
at the beginning
and at the end. He was kind of sing rapping at the end on the last part, which I thought all of them were. It's like if you ever go to like any of the reaction videos for any of the people that are like super Drake heads, they're always just kind of like starting like this and like, okay, before anything even starts. That's just something to think about when we're talking about diss records.
And that's his lane. Like I expect that when I hear a record from him, I'm like, he's going to find a way to turn this into something that can be played for the masses in the midst of whatever we're talking about.
And now what's crazy is that's actually been the argument a lot with this whole situation is, well, Drake's got more songs, it's going to get replayability. But it's funny because Kendrick's are the ones that's getting the replayability right now. And as far as who I think win, I think it kind of shows on the shirt I wore. But that's where I've been from the beginning. And that's not even me not liking Drake. I actually like Drake, and I think he actually did a pretty good job.
He did,
considering the type of artist he is. But we've always said that he can rap. When he wants to rap, he can.
Yeah.
And honestly, when Family Matters dropped, I was like, oh,
exactly.
I was like, this is about to get interesting.
I sat up,
Kendrick took the wind out of the sail within 9 minutes of that song.
That was nasty work.
That's nasty, dude. And for him to come out, because he's posting like crime scene tape, and at the end you're dead. He thought it was a rap. Like if we want to be for real, about it, Drake thought Family Matters was going to be the end of all of this. And then 9 minutes later,
I want to ask y'all a question, right?
We didn't ask Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry, my fault, Jay. Go ahead, bro.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, go ahead. My fault.
You know, after this exchange over the weekend, especially when we was talking about Not Like Us. If any of you remember from Notorious B.I.G.'s first album, Method Man, on the What has I Make It Hot, won't even want to stand next to you.
Yep.
That is what Kendrick is attempting to do, or has actually done, to Drake, because now it's like, okay, you see what a lot of people actually think about this dude. Are you going to lend your credibility to this going forward?
Yeah. I would say it's actually done. Been done.
And I think that there are people going to be like, okay, now if you decide you're going to stand next to him, we're going to question you as well.
Yeah.
You know, and if you didn't think
family away,
if you didn't get to the point where you thought this was going to happen, I need to remind everyone listening or watching that Kendrick is from Compton, California.
I said it last week.
You gotta understand, like, from the same place Ice Cube is from, the same place MC8 making all them death wishes has come on, from, man. The where Game is from, regardless of what you think.
Easy.
Like these people are known for, you know, he comes from a lineage of battle rapping and taking people down. So I think people need to understand. And look, people talk about facts, whatever. Just on a rap lyrical level, Kendrick ate on all these songs.
Max.
That's part, because at the end of the day, that's really, from an artistic level, that's what I care about more than who out-rapped who. And Kendrick out-rapped Drake here.
And it's not even to say that Drake didn't rap well.
Because he rapped his ass off. Drake rapped his ass off.
That's not even, like I said, that's not to say that. But also, Kendrick did something that he decided, okay, I know what your lane is, that you do the songs for the girls and, you know, for people to do, like, you doing a little Tootsie Slide or whatever. I'm glad.
Eminem 8-miled him.
What he did, he's like, I'm going to make a song with crazy punchlines, and then I'm going to have parts where the crowd the DJ can drop the fader, and then there's going to be a part where everybody chants along, and then you already see people doing line dances to this record.
Bro.
Like,
immediately.
It's about, like, I'm telling you, this is going to potentially, regardless of the subject matter, is this, unless something really crazy comes, this is potential song of the summer.
Yes.
This is going to kick it off at barbecues, you know, at family reunions on the West Coast, especially. You know, it's going to be, I guarantee you, like, if somebody sees how these things work in real time, it's going to go up in the club when this record comes on.
Facts.
And that's not something that we've been able to say for, you know, a lot of Kendrick's material, and, you know, especially off of his last album. But, you know, but that's the thing. He knows how to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the wild thing. Like, you know, I just think this is a line of demarcation as far as hip hop. This is, you know, you dealing with Drake before and after.
Yeah.
You know, Not Like Us, because he's been trying to tell y'all, look, this dude is literally not like us. He doesn't come from this. And if anything, he might be the one who's in here just using it to get over.
Hey man, listen.
So I'm just saying it's going to be some people who might have been excited about a Drake feature at one point who are going to be like, let's hold off on that.
Yeah, man. He is not Team America. So
Team North America.
Yeah, well, he doesn't count. This is Team America over here, man.
Well, I mean,
if anybody's gonna make America great again, it's gonna be Kendrick lyrics.
Don't make me play stepdad.
Well, I just, you know,
America.
I'm just glad I didn't hear anybody say,
Man.
call him a dirty foreigner. I'd have been like, wait a minute, you've heard that.
Yeah.
Calling Canadians dirty foreigners.
That's just mean.
I wish he would.
There's good people. What does Trump say? There's good people there.
Yeah,
good people.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto catching. I mean, they lost.
Plenty of good people.
The Maple Leafs lost the 7-game series again.
Well,
you know,
par for the course, man.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just
they needed something. Come on, Maple Leafs, you could have done better than that.
This is a unprecedented situation here, because this has never happened in hip hop music, period, to where somebody can drop a song and I can respond to you immediately, and then I can respond to you again,
and the world can hear.
And then you follow back up. Like, this whole rap battle, once it got caught wind, is historical. I think this will be talked about forever, essentially, as far as music and hip hop is concerned, because it just, the back and forth was decent. It got kind of messy. I will say, as far as, and that's being you know what I'm saying, light about it. All right, let's kind of start from not necessarily the beginning, but somewhat the beginning, at least when Drake started rapping.
Right.
When Drake jumps into the battle, he's immediately like, I'm here now. And then he doubles up with another track and is like, hurry up and rap. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm ready for you to rap. I want you to come outside. And
after
then,
Kendrick addressed it on like that.
Yep.
Right. After
Drake hit him with too quick.
Hit him with too quick. And then once Kendrick decided to come outside and play again, it got real spooky. Because and it's crazy because once Euphoria dropped, which I think is the best out of everything, Euphoria is probably my favorite. Once that dropped, Kendrick pretty much set Euphoria up as the rest of what he was about to do. Like if you go back and listen to Euphoria, he's telling you exactly what he's going to do.
It's foreshadowing.
Yeah, foreshadowing for the whole battle. And even if Drake was this guy that so-called leaked this information, he's doubling down on that too as well by telling him you're a master manipulator. Yep. You're a liar. Mm-hmm. All of that. He stated all that in Euphoria. Essentially, before he even got to what was that? Meet the Grams. Where I mean, the only verse in question is
the 11-year-old.
The 11-year-old, because everything else was just him stating what a lot of people can see or can kind of allege is going on, basically by Drake's actions or whatnot. But as far as I kind of think the back and forth as far as him being considered a pedophile and then the whole wife beating situation, it's weird to me to see people pick sides on that. On those two things.
Good call.
That's what bothers me with this whole thing, whether or not any of this is true or not. But to see people in real time picking sides with either a wife beater or a pedophile.
True.
And like going to bat for those type of lyrics is mad weird to me. It kind of makes you look at people a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying?
I would agree.
Yeah. You can tell some people just showed up for this.
Yeah.
Like they don't really know anything about the artist or the situations. It's just like they're just here for the foolishness.
But
if both are true, then to be honest, both artists have issues that they need to deal with, and both are technically in the wrong. You know what I mean?
No, for sure, for sure. Yeah. But it's you know,
there are levels to it.
The react to Terry's point about the types of reactions and the reactions. I'm noticing a lot outside of just the lyrics. I think he makes a great point in terms of how people are even choosing to pick sides about that. But there's also a level of, like Lone, you and I were talking about prior to us going on, about what I call the anti-Kendricks. Like there's a huge groundswell of the anti-Kendricks, and you'll know if you're... I
think it's both though.
But the reason I'm saying, what I'm seeing more, at least from my viewpoint, is the anti-Kendricks, which means the people that I've never seen mention Drake, but now they caping for him and championing. Say it for me, Lone.
Championing?
Thank you. For Drake.
Championing.
Thank you. I'll take that too. For Drake, and he's the rap god now, and there's think pieces and all this. I'm like, y'all have never talked about this dude ever. Now he's your favorite artist. You're just the anti-Kendrick. That's what I see. I see a lot of
that's par for the course. So that's going to happen when think back when the Nas and Jay-Z battles was going on. Think back when the Biggie and Tupac battles were going on.
We were outside,
but the internet didn't exist.
True.
Yeah. It did, but it didn't exist.
Not like this.
Like that. To where
not
I
on
can
your phone.
Right, not on your phone, to where I can get on. These songs are dropping in real time. Yep. They don't need to go to a studio to be mastered and then put out. They can literally be recorded right now and dropped. Yeah. And we're just in a different time. So I don't think the reactions are any different than it would have been back then if we had these same tools in order to get our opinions
were the
out.
same,
right? Yeah. Because people are going cape for whoever they think is the best, regardless, and a lot of people are going to cape for the wrong reasons, based off a lot of emotion too. There's no reason that anybody should be emotionally involved in a rap battle between two artists that know nothing about you.
It's more emotion and less logic from what I see. It's a lot of emotion. The emotion is the heavier part from what I see.
And I also think that it's also about how people consume and ingest and digest music as well as what this is showcasing. Mm-hmm. Like there is a clear difference in the person that digests music that is a Kendrick fan versus somebody that is a Drake fan. And it's being supremely highlighted. It's supremely highlighted right now because there are people that we all pretty much just said that they both did well, but Kendrick was pretty much shining.
Yeah.
And that's our opinion for everything that we've our background in music and doing this show for 8 years and being in hip hop for as long as we have. But there are also other people that do not believe that.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And they are riding for Drake 100%. And I don't think that they can be persuaded. I don't think Kendrick can do anything to persuade them in a similar manner to where, like, to a degree, I don't know if Drake could really do anything to really persuade me. To me, Drake doesn't have ammo to compete with Kendrick. And so Kendrick is going to win by default if they're doing the same, if they're rapping on the same level. But it just so happens that Kendrick is rapping better than him and all these other things. And Drake is rapping super well. But all things considered, as far as rap beef is concerned, Kendrick has got way more ammo than what Drake does. And Drake is just kind of repopulating and saying the same thing over and over again. And so you can't really, me personally, as the type of listener that I am, you're not saying anything like we said last week and the last 2 weeks. You're not saying anything that is really that is stinging Kendrick outside of stuff that has already been said, stuff I've already heard. Like
that's why
it's like, okay, cool.
That's why
he makes good records.
That's why I like Meet the Grams so much. That hurts.
It's a personal attack.
That whole joint hurt him. I don't care what he says.
As a man in his face.
Yes, as a man, I'm gonna look at you, a man in your face.
I wanted to talk to you on your man in your face.
Yes,
that hurt him.
Hurt him bad.
I think Not Like Us. I mean, that's the one that overall, it's not only to Kendrick, but it's about how other people feel about Kendrick that maybe they haven't said out loud.
Yes.
Even Drake said it on his last song, Heart Part 6, that he liked that song, but then you start talking all that goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you jumped in the waters and you kind of, all right, this is what kind of bothers me about the situation is you can't bait me and attack the mother of my children, but I can't say anything about your people.
Thank you, man.
That it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't.
And then you can't in turn decide that I'm the one that has to create receipts, but you don't. So why would I decide that, okay, you can't really say nothing because if you are saying something, you got to drop the receipts. Well, you got to drop receipts too, because at the end of the day, none of us know if any of this stuff is true. And that's what kind of kills me about the average fan of either one of these cats. In rap battles in the past, whatever, people say some untruths. You know what I'm saying? That just happens.
Facts.
And you can't double down on anything that anybody says, and you don't know these people. Like, people are literally, it's almost like you know more about somebody that you don't know.
That you've never met.
Know about the people that are literally sitting right next to you.
Yeah.
Based off of internet access or whatnot.
And I've never in my life, and Terry makes a great point. We've all been outside long enough to know. We've seen hella rap battles in various different forms. This is probably the most unique one that we've seen, right? That's fair to say.
Hands down, it might be the best in history.
But my thing is, like with that, I've never heard so many people analyze this with so many morals and, well, if it's a lie, it doesn't count. Or how do we know? I've never heard that.
None of us know none of this.
We were growing up. Nobody knows anything.
Don't know.
I've never heard that as a demerit or something against somebody. Well, we don't know if it's real or not. Nobody brought that up when we was listening to rap.
We did.
I never mentioned that in rap battles.
I mean, Tupac starts his song. That's why. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't
he starts his song, and nobody was like, "Oh, he has to prove that."
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about.
These are all allegations.
Thank you.
Everything is allegedly.
But I also think that we're in a time right now where receipts are important.
Yes.
And accountability is super important.
Yes.
And so I feel like we have the capacity to a degree to
figure it out,
to check it out. Like back then, everything moved a lot slower. You know what I mean?
That's true.
There was like a lot of illusion. You know, it's like
that's true.
Like someone could diss you, you wouldn't hear a response for like 3 months until the album rolled out.
And it's different maybe because we can speak on the previous eras because we were there.
Right.
So that part of it just never really was a thing like it is now. Like what you're saying about today's era, of course, is going to be different. But that just threw me for a loop because I'm like, I've never had these conversations about rap battles ever. It's been, this is better or this is better.
Yeah, I've seen so many. I feel like a lot of new hip hop content creators were spawned and created out of this beef because there have been so many deep think pieces on TikTok,
reaction videos,
that have come from this, from people that I don't. Never even heard of before. Don't know why I should care about their opinion.
Do you think
don't have any history of talking about it?
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Well,
I'll tell you what it is.
I mean, it's just some of the people that are speaking about this stuff know what they're talking about.
Okay.
Some of them are just trying to capitalize off of a moment, and I feel like if it's a good moment for some people to help, get to the next thing, then that's cool. If they're speaking with, conviction and intelligence.
I'm glad you said that because I'm coming to you, bro. I'm glad you said that because I think there are some. I've watched a couple and they seem like they look qualified to me.
I've seen
makes perfect sense.
I've seen great breakdowns from people I've never heard of before.
No facts.
And then I've seen some from other people where I'm just like, this person shouldn't have a spotlight.
What were you gonna say, bro? You said you were gonna say when we talked about.
I'll tell you what it is.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's. I think he kind of touched on it as far as people knowing that this is going to gain traction.
Yeah.
So they want to talk about it. I mean, it's great, and it's. This is just very interesting, man. I mean, I think a lot of us are exhausted from these rap battles now because it's been happening so much. Yeah. But it's like you still want another hit. I still want at least one more.
Do you want one more?
I want one more. I want Kendrick to say something because technically on the Hard Part 6, Drake is conceding.
Oh, 100%.
He's trying to concede as the winner.
Yeah.
In his mind, because I mean he's pretty much telling you, you took the bait and you're corny because you took the bait.
I don't want to do this anymore.
I don't want to do this anymore. I mean,
I'm going on vacation.
You wanted to do it, and now that it's going on,
now you don't want to do it.
Now we're here. There's no way that you can say that I'm literally kicking my girl's ass, and I haven't seen my kids in 6 months. But no, I don't. I'm cool on the response from that. No. Now you didn't piss me off. Now I'm really, if I wasn't mad before that, now I'm real mad because you're talking about me like I'm out here beating my girl. Mm-hmm. And I caused you a foul. Oh, well, these are, I mean, there's different scenarios and scenes that you can look for online that's available to you that shows questionable behavior from Drake, right?
Sure, as a groomer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
𝐀𝐁𝐎𝐔 makes a good point. He says Kendrick beating his wife ain't never been a thing, so it's not sticking in the same way.
No, that's true. Again,
it was like a tabloid.
Yeah, that's kind of goes back to why do I have to prove this about you, but you don't have to prove nothing about me? Because that ain't how it work. I mean, we either need to shoot the fair one, like Shawn Michaels is offering for the WWE, because this is definitely entertainment. Yeah, or I'm gonna bar you up again. Yeah, because you can't just bow out like that and think I'm not going to say nothing. You literally just said you probably aren't going to respond. You feel like you're being the bigger man and stepping away from this battle.
Terry, you actually made a good point as to something that I wanted to mention. I know we're still going to do some breakdowns, but that was one of the questions I wanted to pose just to everybody. And Jay, I'll kick it to you first. Mm-hmm. 2-part question. 1, is this overkill at this point? And 2, has this been beneficial for hip hop culture? You can answer either or
I'll take them both. Well, you know what? I think I don't know. You know, at this point, things move so fast that at this point, you should let us enjoy these records and make us see what they're going to do. I mean, and I think everybody needs to chill for a second. Yeah, let it breathe for a little bit. I mean, because it could get, if this is where we are right now, if we're going to keep going downward, it might really get to a point where, all right, well, guys, stop. Like, this is embarrassing for the culture. I don't think we're at a point where I feel like it's embarrassing for the culture yet, but it could get to that point. Right. It's almost like had Jay-Z not put out Super Ugly, he would have been the clear winner. But because he put out Super Ugly and got emotional and said some stuff that even his mama made him apologize for, then it was like this has been embarrassing. Maybe not for the culture, but for Jay-Z. Yeah. Good point. Yeah, and is this good for the culture? Yes, because regardless of which one that you think is better, it brings people wanting to rap back.
I would agree.
This is people trying to put some effort into lyrics and trying to say something, even if it's to say something demeaning about somebody else. Because a lot of times, we're so into chants and choruses right now in what you would consider to be popular rap music. Yeah, that. I don't know what's even said in between these charts and choruses most of the time. These chants and choruses, rather. So, I mean, from that standpoint, I think it is good because it gives someone to say, well, if you're not going to do it like this, then please keep your little ABC 1, 2, 3 raps to yourself.
Yeah, there's still people trying to jump in here too. I don't know if y'all see the game is trying to bait Rick Ross into it.
Bless his heart,
man. It's just so unnecessary. It's
corny,
like,
bro.
Everybody is trying to capitalize off of this moment. Everybody's inserting themselves into this, just like even Kanye trying to insert himself into it.
He's really got to feel bad. Corny. Nobody cared.
Nobody cared about what you had to say.
Nobody.
And we don't want to hear Rick Ross versus the game rap battle. I'm just cool. I hope Rick Ross doesn't take the bait on that.
I don't need that at all. Lone, I want to come back to you on the overkill and just the overall impact for the culture. What are your thoughts?
I kind of do think it's overkill. This is a personal anecdote, right?
Sure.
But I was tired before Not Like Us came out, just because it was so much.
Mm-hmm.
But then Not Like Us came out, and I was like, okay. This goes back to previous episodes where I've told you guys, and I've told you many times, that I'm not really a rap beef person. I don't really get into it like a lot of people do.
You always said that.
So, like, I don't know what more can really be said without saying the same thing a bazillion times between these two. I think it's kind of ran its course.
Right.
They could drop a couple more records and maybe it would be good, or not. But I kind of I'm kind of leaning towards what Jay says. Like, there's a point where you're doing too much. And I feel like right now hip hop is winning, because it's taking the eyes off of, this is the focus in pop culture. Period. Right now is this. I haven't heard any fashion hoe rap news recently. Sure. I don't know what's going on in that world. Nobody new has popped up. I haven't heard a song that I don't care about. So it's just a bunch of beef tracks I don't really care about. But either way, I think it's been generally good though, because it is two of the top guys, going head to head back at each other, showcasing bars, showcasing lyricism. Everybody is dissecting. I saw a video on TikTok where it was a teacher saying, like, if you don't think that this has been good, 5th graders and 4th graders, like, going through entendres and talking about, wordplay and all this other stuff. She's like, it's been great. So
I hadn't seen anything like that. That's dope.
And when you think about the climate of, education aspects and how dumbed down a lot of the music has become, this is kind of the opposite of that.
Yeah, that is very true.
So I think it's generally been good.
Yeah.
It's not the thing that I personally would like to focus on when it comes to hip hop music, but
you can see the good in it.
But there's benefits from it, and it is sparring to a degree.
Yeah.
It is. There is, but it's definitely super personal. But I think it's ran its course for me, but has it for? I don't know.
What you think, bro? In terms of just the overkill and also how it impacts the culture.
I don't know if I'll say it's an overkill, because it kind of was how the match was set up.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick dropped, or he didn't drop. Future dropped like that, where Kendrick pretty much baits Cole and Drake to say something to him. Finally, Drake said something, but Drake doubled down. He doubled down, and then Kendrick doubled down. Actually, he tripled, hitting with 3.
Man.
And then
2 and
then
1
and then 1. Yeah, he hit him with 2, so he followed his Drake same situation. It's like a chess match.
Yeah, for sure.
You got 2. Yeah. All right, here's 2. Then he is like, I got 1 ready in the chamber if he decides to drop.
Yeah.
He dropped 1. I'm gonna drop this right after him. Boom. Yeah. And then I'm gonna drop another one. So it's like, I think as far as the gameplay, how it's set up, how meticulous it's been, and how it's entertaining, because these songs were coming from left field every time.
True.
It's like you just scrolling on your phone and you're like, hold on, man, is this real?
What's so funny too is that after he dropped Euphoria, and I was editing the episode, I was like, if I was Kendrick, I would probably drop another one.
Yeah.
Just to stack on top. I was like, I was thinking, like, this would be a really clever play, and then he did, and I was like, okay. Yeah. And then he dropped it, then he just kept hitting him with it. Yeah. And real quick, the overkill, I think it might be overkill if another one drops, but I think where it stops right now, that's kind of where I was like, okay, that's a good.
If we leave it where it is right now,
I think it's straight. I think everything kind of had its purpose, but if we get more, I guess I'll just have to come back and it depends on what it is.
I mean, it's very hard to follow. I think Terry sent me Family Matters, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, wait, I couldn't even remember what the one before it was, because I think you sent me.
16 or something?
Yeah, I think it was.
It was the
616, right?
616, which has a lot of double meanings and entendres. And I think, again, to your point too, because I wasn't really finished with my point.
Yeah, my fault.
These songs are making people think. they're making people, regardless of if you usually do it or not, a lot of people are spending a lot of time trying to figure out exactly what's going on here or trying to pick up double meanings and things of that nature. So I think it's good as far as that's concerned. It's a huge win for hip hop because you have literally the two elite hip hop artists right now, the pop or the most popular one going against the one that we would probably christen the most popular one on the hip hop side. So I think it's really good as far as that's concerned. It's just those the other personal shots just kind of like I said, it's weird because it leaves a weird image for both of these artists. You know what I'm saying? If any of this is true,
right?
So it's good as far as that's concerned. I don't think it was too much. I don't think it's an overkill. I do think Kendrick probably can drop one more and it'll be a wrap. That's how I feel about it.
Well, you know, one of the things that you brought up is when you know, we're hearing about 4th and 5th graders. Yeah. You know, not so much invested in the beef, but just having to look up what things mean. Yeah. You know, because honestly, we're in a rap world now where you know, quote unquote popular hip hop artists aren't saying anything that would make you say, well, let me go check out what that means.
Yeah, there's nothing to look up.
You know, it's not like, and I know this once again makes me the oldest of the new old heads. I remember when I would see things on Yo MTV Raps that I didn't quite understand. You know, even if it was just something as simple as the concept of, you know, when KRS-One said my philosophy, you know, about steak, goat, you know, no, basically the concept of vegetarianism. Yeah. You know, I had no concept of somebody who was like, what do you mean you don't eat meat? Right. Like that didn't make any sense to me until I was like, oh, okay, I see what this is. Or just, you know, the political figures or countries that they would bring up. You know, there was things for me if I wanted, you know, because, you know, I had one of those parents where if I didn't know a word, whether it be something I saw on TV, read in a comic book, or heard in a rap song, they'd be like, go look it up. You know, you know, when you listen to you know, modern popular hip hop, I don't think there's a lot of, hey, go what does this mean? Just go look it up. It's all surface
people
level.
Don't want to hear it.
Yeah. So,
and that's been obvious during this battle too. A lot of people saying how they don't want to decipher things. So it's good that some people are enjoying that, but then it's showing other hand of people that literally don't want to figure things out. Well, they want it fed to you. They want it to be a nursery rhyme. They want it to be easy to comprehend. I don't want to have to run it back. That's a lot of the people that are standing for Drake, or not even standing, so to speak, because standing is almost becoming a bad word nowadays. Fans of him, as far as they know exactly what Drake is saying. But Drake is actually doubling down on some stuff too. If we want to be honest, there's a lot of double entendres and double meaning that he's dropping that I think that Kendrick is bringing out of him. So that's good for the culture as well. It's similar to when Jay-Z and Nas was going back and forth. Nas wasn't dropping the best music until Jay-Z baited him, and they started going back and forth. And then he dropped Stillmatic, which was a very good album. So
be careful.
I thought it was good.
Be careful.
Anyway, but
come on now.
Nah, I think what's going on is solid though. It's good. It's good for the culture and
net positive.
Definitely
net positive.
You know, it's just crazy because, you know, there have been other hip hop beefs, but we don't know about them, pay attention to them because we don't care about the artists. And plus, like basically a modern diss track, excluding what we've heard in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, has included the same elements. I had sex with your girl, suck my you're gay, and I'll shoot you on sight. Like those are basically the 4 elements of like fashion hoe rap beef. And you know, I don't want anybody to think I'm just talking about women when I say that. When I say fashion hoe rap, I mean men too. Yes, you know, all you do is go to a strip club and buy shoes. Like that's what I consider that same category. Yeah, for sure. So I don't know, and some people could say, well, that's all I hear in these records too, and they have a case for that. But
I haven't heard anybody talk about killing anybody. Now I did hear Kendrick say, well, they both said they wish each other was dead, kind of.
Yeah, close enough.
But they didn't talk about I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, I didn't hear any. We pulling up, or we got this, or we got that.
Kind of, there was some.
I mean, Kendrick said,
"Don't come to Oakland."
Well, he did. He did say the Oakland. I forgot about the Oakland part.
That might be your last show.
He did say that. He did say that.
Yeah, but I mean,
you
that's pretty much him saying.
Pac fans are like that, though.
Oh yeah, and also him. Pretty much putting a stamp in, this is my city, this is my coast, and all of y'all that really don't like me. I mean, because I don't know if y'all have seen like some of the people that are doubling down on Kendrick. So you got Mace, you got Cameron,
Mason Gilly. It's really weird, man.
Yeah, I don't understand that, but I'm thinking it goes back to them being praised by Drake, though.
Thank you.
Because Drake, it's almost like Drake wants to collect all the hip hop memorabilia that has ever happened. So he's got
to collect them
Cameron
all.
stuff. That's why he has Pharrell stuff.
Pac.
That's why he has Pac's ring. And he's also brought Dipset out on stage.
Cam and Mace had OVO jackets
Come
on the
on,
other day.
man. Y'all are so corny. And what kills me about that is Cameron stating that Kendrick's song is too long, but you dropped an 8-minute disc for Jay-Z that nobody remembers
nor cares about.
So you can't tell me that Kendrick's song is too long and he wasn't barring this man up, and your song was great, and that's why you're siding with Drake, because his songs are shorter and he's getting directly to the point.
I was surprised at some of those OG reactions.
I wasn't.
Gilly. I was looking at Gilly. Gilly's almost like a caricature now. It's like he's just going to say something and make his eyes real big and just be outlandish for no reason, and then just get up out of there. Like, that's what I see with him now. I don't really see too much. Like, I don't know, bro. I fool with Gilly, but I'm saying that as it relates to how he responds to things, it's just more about him being. It's like a content response. I'm just gonna say something real crazy, real quick, and we're gonna keep moving.
I kind of think a lot of these artists wish that they got the praise that Kendrick has.
There we go.
They don't. They look at Drake as something different.
Yep.
Than a Kendrick. So these are people that came from a for real rap background.
Mm-hmm.
So Kendrick is the guy that they probably wish that they were, versus Drake, again, being the pop star.
Right.
I can't be a Drake. I can't rap like Drake does. I don't have the same content as a Drake, so I can't be him. So they don't like Kendrick.
Shout out to Nate Jeezy. Mace is slow and so is Gilly. He said, Nate Jeezy also said a lot of rappers hate on Kendrick because he ain't an ass kisser. J-Elect was Team Drake also.
Yeah.
Mace has given off slow vibes before.
I mean, since his whole career.
He was a pastor.
And look,
it ain't about the pastors, y'all.
And look,
he's a fake pastor. Don't do that long. He's a fake pastor.
He was a real pastor.
Nah, I ain't believe it.
Electronica, I mean, because we forgot, about him because he came after Kendrick on Control, or was it before? I don't even remember.
No, I can't even remember. Control seems like 20 years ago now.
All I know is at one point that was the only part of the song we played.
Same way we like that.
Yeah,
it's like nobody's talking about Future at all about any of this.
Well, Drake did. Drake is really his feelings are hurt about it. He said it. He said I was pretty much. He said I'm hurt that Future has said this about me because I thought we were cool. Such and such must be in your ear. So it's like I'm a diss some of these dudes, but really I still want to be our friend. It's kind of doubles down back to on Not Like Us when Kendrick is referencing you run to Atlanta whenever you need something.
Yeah,
it's almost like I can't lose Future. That's my other Atlanta connect.
And I'm going to need him at some point when I drop this record. Yeah.
So
when Terry talked about, best rap battle ever or most potent or however you want to call it, we've never seen anything like this.
It's unprecedented, man.
Yeah, this is definitely a one of one. This is a one of one for sure.
Why I think it's
just in the speed in which is when, like I said, when NWA dissed Ice Cube, they had to wait to put the whole rest of the album out, So I can't remember. It was like 3 or 4 months before that came out. It wasn't like immediate, even with, when Takeover came out.
Man,
that was 3 months.
Yeah, it was like 3 months before we heard. Well, I mean, people heard Ether, but before the album came out, before Stillmatic came out, us being able to hear a reply to a diss song 6 minutes later, yes, that's unprecedented. It just doesn't, and it's
that's wild for somebody just be sitting there to press the button. Like, go ahead and put it out there.